Good morning, everyone. All right, guys. Good morning, guys and gals. My name is Dinesh Munan. I will be your teacher for the course 4102. I'm also teaching 4105 and 4106. So today, some of you are going to get reacquainted with management training. Um, and some of you will, for the first time, be introduced to concepts and topics that are related to management. I hope that the information is given to you as easily as is possible so that you can grasp the concepts. And I hope at the end of the course in December, you would be in a better position to understand management theory and be able to apply management skills in your future jobs. Um, I try my best to make the class interactive, so I would from time to time call out on students who are on the WhatsApp list so that we can get feedback and we can have discussions going. I'm seeing lots of people didn't they already have their names up, so it might be kind of hard. But I would really hope and wish that we do have some sort of interaction via the chat. I understand Dr. Marge is actually going to um, walk me through the process to get to do the lectures on Blackboard Collaborate. So it may be even more interactive then. Um, Good. So let's get straight into it. We are going. I'm hoping or I'm expecting that you guys would have received all your lectures, and we are doing lecture one today, um, which is the basics of management, a historical perspective of management. And while I go through the lecture, we identifying slides that we are on, so no one gets lost. Um, I encourage everyone to do some more reading in addition to what is being taught. Do your online reading, do your textbook reading, do all of those so that you can have a better appreciation, a better understanding. After attending the class, look over the videos, discuss it with your friends, discuss it with I would encourage strongly that you find yourself in groups that can discuss the material because one person might bring a perspective about the material that nobody else may have had, or one person may be benefiting from a lot of their other colleagues giving information about the material that would now give them an understanding. So the objective is everyone to understand the course, at least pass the course, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, good. So let's go. So we are on lecture one. And here you see on slide number one, we have some definitions of management that are relatively old definitions. Mary Parker Follett and Peter Drucker. Those were persons who um, the, the prominent persons who developed management theory way in the past. Peter Drucker being one of the more later ones. And as you see there in slide one, Ms. Follett said it's the art of getting things done through people. And that's as simple as you can get with respect to managing people. It's an art. It's not management is not about dictatorial behavior. Management is not about giving instruction. Management is not about talking down. Management is not about punitive action only. As she rightfully said, it's an art of getting things done through people. Mr. Drucker went on to say, it's giving direction to the organization, providing leadership, and deciding how to use organizational resources to accomplish goals. Oh, one thing I forgot. Well, you all will have my number. My cell number is on the group chat. You can feel free to message me. Feel free to ask questions um, anytime because I'm usually up. But when I have to correct the exams, I'm usually up very late. So you have my number there. Right. So Mr. Drucker, he introduced the notion of giving direction to the organization using how to use organizational resources. And you will see on point number three, management is the attainment of organizational goals in an effective and efficient manner. Now, that's a definition that you need to learn and keep to the back of your head from now throughout your career, throughout life, actually. Management is the attainment of an organizational goals in an effective and efficient manner. And management, the organization, when we talk about the organization, yes, in a work atmosphere, we can talk of a company. It could be a large company, it can be a small company, but the organization can also be your home. The organization can also be yourself. What are the goals for yourself? What are the goals for your home? What are the goals for your community? What are the goals for your small business? What's the goals for your large business? What's the goals for your global business? Right? So your organizational goals and the organization there does not only apply to a physical work type organization. It can be yourself. And I encourage you all to look at this perspective of starting to take control of yourself, starting to manage your own life personally and professionally. Because when you can manage yourself personally, it will demonstrate as well professionally that you can also do the same. Right? Yes, there are some persons who they have a really good career life, but their personal life is in the tubes. They have really good um, organization in the work atmosphere, but they have poor organization personally. But it's a very good thing to have both personal organization and career organization. You are you are in control of yourself personally, and we're gonna get into those phrases and terms later on, where you have your life is well put together. I use the word well put together, meaning you don't have to be wealthy or anything in it. You're just a very organized person, a systematic person. And so too, it's going to reflect in your professional capacity as well that you're a very organized and systematic person. Okay? So please keep this in mind. Management is the attainment of organizational goals in an effective and efficient manner. And this is done through four major functions of management. And those functions are planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Now, I don't think I'll be asking you all to define this as an exam question. It will be just too easy, or maybe maybe just to hand you all some points for your exam. It may be there, but this is the foundation of all management courses. Management is the attainment of organizational goals through an efficient and effective manner. So you must start asking yourself, and even if you're not working anywhere, personally, what are your goals? What are your objectives? And you need to know you should know what these goals and objectives are. I know some of you may be in your early 20s, some of you may be in your early 30s, some of you may be in your early 40s as well. It's never too late to find yourself some goals and objectives. I can say from experience at a younger age, doing these things might be difficult, especially without guidance. But in the world that we exist in today with so much technology and so much influencers, we talk about influencers being a buzzword. We have YouTube influencers, we have internet influencers, we have reality TV show influencers, we have people who use different social platforms as influencers. You can learn and read so much on your own without having to go sit in a library and read a textbook. It can help you define, define and develop your own personal goals. And you have your goals, you have your vision for yourself. How do you achieve these goals? Do you achieve these goals in a haphazard manner? If it happened, it happened. You need to devise a plan to achieve these goals, or at least um, develop a strategy to achieve these goals. And all of these things that I'm speaking about is management 101. You hear me mention the word plan. You hear me mention the word strategy. These are things that are used on an everyday basis in management theory to attain organizational goals. All right. So the four functions of management, they're planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So those four functions are with respect to organizational resources. So what are some resources that an organization would have? Just throwing it out there to you guys. Tell me what are some resources we have some answers coming in. This is the first part of our interactive segment. Tell me, off the top of your head, guys, what are some resources organizations may have? And um, as I said, the organization that we speak of there is a term that can be a career-oriented or a for-profit organization, a brick and mortar store, a brick and mortar organization. It can be personally, it can be community. All right. So tell me what are some resources organizations may have? Go. I think Caleb is in this class. Leah, um, Victoria, Victoria Fort. Caleb is supposed to be in this class as well. Tell me what. Tell me, Precious. Tell me what are some resources organizations may have. And this is supposed to be pretty easy. We're going to see some answers. What are some resources organizations may have? Yes, Precious. Human resources. Correct. Correct. Perfect. Human resources. And Precious is going to tell me just now something about human resources because I'm sure she would have heard from her colleagues who did the course in summer what we always say about human resources. Right, Precious? You'll tell me what how do we consider human resources in management? All right. Anybody else? I mentioned Leah, I mentioned Caleb. Um, without having the names, I could always call the phone numbers. Phone number 739-8441. Looks like a guy. Yeah, looks like a guy. His phone number is 739-8441. Let's call out another number, another random number, 470-3188. Give me some answers of what some resources organizations may have. Samantha, financial, correct. Some organizations will have financial resources, and financial resources can be cash in the bank. Financial resources can be assets that they have. They may have property, they may have equipment, um, they may have investments. So all of those are financial resources. Precious, tell me what do we say about human resources? Jahil. So guys, it would be nice if I could actually see your names on the WhatsApp chat so that I could call and rather than call numbers, or we could leave it as numbers. That's fine. IT resources, right? Oh, good. We have some answers coming in. Vijay and Lawrence, IT resources. Yes, yes. And that's a big resource in today's world. Um, that's a big resource in today's world because clearly, look at what we're doing right now. We are having a lecture at the university level via a YouTube channel, which is even more different than the traditional Blackboard Collaborate. So definitely, yes, IT resources. Precious, are we waiting on what do we say about human resources? Anybody want to help her? Time resource. Time as a resource. Yes, actually, Kavita. Yes, time is a resource. In that now, although we cannot control time, but we can we can use time to help manage a particular situation because as you would know, is it this is just a relationship thing. They say time heals everything, but you can use time to to manage particular situations, and that you give a situation some time to get sorted out, to get resolved, for people to reflect, for certain things that you have put in place to set in. You know, you may have applied a particular strategy that you need the staff, or the people who you have applied the strategy to some time to assimilate and absorb and reflect it. Yes. So yes, Kavita, we'll go with time. Um, how do you pronounce this, Miss Humphrey? That's Teresa. Do we go with Teresa? Right. I don't want to mispronounce anybody's name. So it's Teresa Humphrey. Um, right. Okay. Good. Chelsea says environmental resources. Chelsea, what do you mean by environmental resource? Teresa, that would work. Okay. How else do you pronounce that name then? It is not Is it Teresa? It looks like Teresa. Teresa without the H, so it's Teresa. Chelsea, what do you mean by environmental resources? And I'm still waiting on Precious. Leandra. Leandra, I remember you from my last class. Workspace. So that's workspace meaning a physical brick and mortar or partition setup office space. I'm assuming that's what you meant, right? Land, oil, water, air. Yes, yes, okay, good. So the company may have right, right. So the company may have resources of land that they can utilize to perhaps be leveraged, to get financing or to generate new income. So they can use their land, their oil, their access to clean air to to generate revenue that can be applied to their strategy. Yes, so good thinking. I like thinking. Good thinking. Good thinking. Um, right. So Precious and Teresa, human manpower. Still waiting on that answer of what we mean or how do we regard human resources and management. Please, someone tell me. Someone make my morning by giving me the answer. That would be great. That would be perfect if someone gives me the answer. And Leandro, you supposed to know you would have been in one of my last classes, and I'm sure I would have mentioned this for sure, whether be it institutional or community or farm admin. I mentioned I mentioned to everybody how we regard human resources. I'm waiting on some answers, and I'm very happy that so many of you responded. Good, that we can keep it interactive like this on the chat. Nobody, Precious, are you gone? Teresa, are you there? Human resources, guys, you all are going to be human resources. So tell me what you think about human resources. I can't believe I have to tell you all. All right, so human resource is the most skilled employees of manpower. Um, okay, yes, Vikash, yes, that's an asset because as a human resources, yes. Jahil says, well, to me, human resource department deals with hiring. Um, yes, it deals with hiring. Teresa said human resources has to do with personal manpower. Yes, Teresa. Shakila is saying it's the key resource. Shakila, you got it right. Shakila got it right. Alexis, yes, and firing. Samantha, overall performance of employees at an organization. Yes, human resource departments, they manage performance. They are part of the performance management team. Jahil is saying, and making sure the others and themselves are paid. Right. So I'm glad these things are coming up because now I'm getting from you what your preconceived notions are or were with respect to different departments of management. So Jahil is saying that he understands management is about hiring and firing. And so too is Alexis. Alexis, right. And Shakila got it right and said that human resource is the most key resource and the most key important asset. And I want you all to remember this. Your human resource, no matter what organization it is, once you are an organization that have people working for your organization, they are the most important resource. Your your human resource is your most important asset. Okay? Because yes, you might have supercomputers that can get the job done of 10 humans, but a human has something that some of the supercomputers can't do as yet, which is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, this is a word I'm introducing to you all. Emotional intelligence. So, Jahil and Alexis, I hope you all have a better appreciation that your human resource department is not only for hiring and firing. And Samantha, it's not only for, yes, it's definitely for the overall performance of employees in the organization. They are the ones responsible, not necessarily to train and coach, but they are there to use metrics. And I'm going to put in this in, because this is another term that you're going to see in management and should be utilized in management regularly. Metrics, measurement, scientific data. Well, that's that data that can be used to track and manage someone's performance, right? So and you all did well. You all did well with the feedback session. So that's good. So getting back to the lecture, the organizational resources of uh, IT, which is infrastructure, as you guys said, and then human resource, time resource, land, oil, air. Yes, so your resources, you need to know what your resources are in your organization or what resources are available to you. And you now utilize these resources to achieve the goals, right? Simple goal. We're talking about a simple goal. How do we get to the beach? How do we get to a party to you young folks? Well, no parties these days. We might need an invitation. We definitely need clothes. I guess clothes. You need to have transport. You need to have a designated driver. So you need to get resources in which to achieve your goal of attending the beach or attending your party and coming back home safely. So that's just a very simple and very applicable um, example of utilizing your resources to achieve a particular goal. Okay. So the four functions of management: planning, organizing, leading, controlling. And these four functions are done, again, I'm repeating it ad nauseum, to achieve organizational goals in an effective and efficient manner. So let's talk about effective and efficient. Effective and efficient. What do we mean by effective? Tell me, guys, what do we mean by effective? And we'll talk about efficient after. But let's talk about effective first. When you hear the term effective, oh, we are all pharmacy students, so we're supposed to know what effective means. Mm-hmm. What is this drug effective or not? What do we mean, guys? Please tell me, at least from a pharmacy perspective, what does effective mean? Feel free to chat away. Feel free to chat away. Effective is actually get. Thank you very much, Jahil. Very good. Jahil has got it on spot before everyone else. Effective is actually getting the required outcome. So your organizational goal was to reach to the party or reach to the beach. It makes no sense. You got a designated driver, you got a car, you got clothes, you got whatever the invitation, but you don't end up to the beach. You end up to a friend's house, or you ended up in church, or you ended up in by your parents. That's not effective. That you didn't achieve your goal. So effective is actually getting the required outcome. So on point, Jahil, you were on point there. If we were scoring right now, that's 10 marks. Unfortunately, we're not, but still good. Very happy for that. So everyone understands what effective means. And now, efficient. Why are we not scoring? I wish I could have given everybody, full marks. I wish. That's based on your answering abilities. Do operate so Jahil. So efficient. What do we mean by efficient? And is someone going to beat Jahil there? Jahil seems to be leading the front right now with answers. Efficient. What do we mean by efficient? Tell me, what do we mean, or what do you understand by efficient? Chelsea, minimum effort. What? You guys, you all don't need to attend this class. You all have it already. Alexis, efficiency is how well. Wait, Jahil, you see what going on there, right? Chelsea, Alexis, they were on your tail, so they mash you up there. Um, Minimum effort with maximum outcome. Perfect. Great. Efficiency is how well was the required outcome achieved. Yes, Alexis. How well, and okay, so we using you're saying the word how well because it could be not well, it could be very well. So I understand your point. I accept your point. And Chelsea just went on to say minimum effort with maximum outcome, because that's what we want. We always want to have the best possible outcome with the least amount of input. And later on, we're going to talk about systems theory, and we're going to talk about input output, input process output, and all all organizations, shareholders of all organizations, will always be impressed when they see their management team utilizing this amount of resources and getting this amount of outcome. That's always good. They're always happy to see persons taking very small and then being able to create something very large. That means they are creative. That means they are um, keeping themselves relevant, right? That means they're efficient. So, very good, guys. Jahil, Chelsea, Alexis, on point with your answers. Thank you very much. Very good. Very good. And I'm sorry again that we're not scoring here. If you were scoring, you all would be getting full points. Right. So on to no, I've actually spent half an hour on 3 slides, and that's just to tell you how important this foundation is for all your management courses, for your management career throughout your life. After you finish with me, and you go on, for example, to doing an MBA or doing an MHA or doing a master's in management, you know, you will remember these basic concepts that are very, very applicable to life from now um, till the end. So managerial skills, in order to manage effectively and efficiently, in order to achieve organizational goals effectively and efficiently, you require some skills. You require conceptual skills, and that's the cognitive ability to see the organization as a whole. Conceptual skills, it's your ability to take yourself out of the organization. And I wish you could have seen here. So let's just say my head is the organization, but you have to stand above or to the side or out of it so that you can look in to the organization and then you can see what's going on. And because as a manager, you cannot always be part of the operations. Because if you are always part of the operations and are not able to look from outside within, to look within, then you will not be able to see how the organization is functioning. You will not be able to see from the perspective of an outsider how your organization is functioning, if it's being effective, if it's being efficient. Because you're gonna understand certain things like confirmation bias and groupthink, and all of these things can apply when you are involved heavily in the operations of the organization and unable to look from outside within to see the organization as a whole. So that's your conceptual skills. Next, we have technical skills, professional proficiency, and I want to now make this distinction right here, right now. The professional proficiency we speak about here is management proficiency, because I don't want you to go away thinking that you must be a pharmacist to be a pharmacy manager. You must be a doctor to be the manager of a clinic. You must be an engineer to be the manager of an engineering firm. No, those things are an asset. And if you look at job positions for management, whether be it low, middle, or senior management in different industries, whether be it the food industry, the hospitality industry, the engineering industry, biopharmaceutical industry, teaching industry, they ask for management qualifications, and then they say a first degree in engineering, a first degree in culinary arts, a first degree in teaching, in education, is an asset. But it's not a requirement to be a manager, because management by itself is a specialized proficiency. So the technical skills we speak about here in slide number 4, the third point, professional proficiency, your ability to use management tools and management strategies to get the job done. Right? Please understand that. Please appreciate that. And lastly, the last point is human skills. And we go back into earlier where we talk about the human resources being the most important resource. Human resource is the most important resource. And you must be able as a manager to treat with and interact with your human resource. And we can think of a host of examples where you would have persons who do not know how to interact with their human resource, and it leads to Another thing that we're going to talk about in management class, I'm not sure if it's this one or the others, conflict. If you I'll put it in one thing. Bad human skills will, and even from a personal perspective, I'm sure in in the relationships that you have with your parents, with your friends, with your significant others, with your religious affiliates, with your other professional affiliates, you can immediately think of examples where there has been a bad human interaction. In your opinion, what were horrible human skills, and it led immediately to conflict. So, as a manager, you need to have good or excellent, I would want to say, excellent human skills. You need to learn to interact with your other humans who may be your subordinates. And I'm just using this to give the hierarchical perspective, or your seniors. You need to have good interaction between both so there's no conflict. You need to have good interaction between both so that you can get the job done. Because sometimes, as a manager, you need buy in from your seniors to get a particular project done. So they may be barking down orders to you, using the word barking, don't take it too seriously. But they may be giving you um, instructions, or have expectations of you, and you now need to get your team together to get these things done. But you may need a little more resource allocation from them, and you will need now to convince your guys to get this thing done without this additional resource. So understand what I'm saying. It's a very dynamic um, process, and that's where your human skills need to be on point. And I'm urging you, all of you right now, whether you're an introvert or a quiet person, or you are someone who shies away, work on your human skills. And I know it's a fact, it's a reality that there are some people who are just naturally introverted. Some people are naturally quiet. Some people naturally shy away easily from things. And then there are others that are very much out there. They're courageous, they're brave, they speak very easily. Now, I'm not saying that those who are out there and they're courageous and they speak easily are automatically going to do well. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, and I'm not saying that the person who is an introvert and who is quiet and who shies away from stuff will not be a good manager. I'm saying that you need to have good human skills. So whether you are an introvert or not, you need to put yourself right up to the task and speak to whoever you need to speak to without emotion, without emotion, to get the job done. For the introverts out here in class, I want you to remember this term. Don't take my quietness for weakness. Don't take my kindness for weakness. And I'm saying this because you need to be able to go beyond what your personality may be to get your human skills correct, to be able to interact with a junior, to get them in line. Imagine you're an introvert, or you're a quiet person, you've been thrusted into this management position, but you have some chaos going on below you. You have to step up to the task, and you have to get them in line. And management helps you do that because management has metrics, management has consequences. And you would need to start to learn how to lay down the law. These are the rules by which we operate. Nobody's telling you to shout, nobody's telling you to scream, nobody's telling you to threaten anybody. But you would need to assert your position without emotion. And similarly, someone who is extroverted, someone who's loud, someone who is courageous and out there, who speaks easily, you can't now back out your orders to someone or be inappropriately communicating with people because you just feel very confident. You need to have the right human skills. And the right human skills simply mean that your listener, the person who you are speaking to, understands completely what you want from them. And they now can take that instruction, take that advice, and get the task done. That's all we want from human skills. We want you as the manager to be able to get the person who you are communicating with, who you are interacting with, because it's not just communication, it's interaction as well. To get them to understand and appreciate the task at hand and to get the job done. I hope I'm clear. I hope that you all are understanding these new concepts as we progress. All right, we're going to take a break at 10 at 9:50. So we have 10 more minutes of teaching for the first session. So I hope everyone understands the conceptual skills, the technical skills, and the human skills. I really hope that you all understand conceptual, technical, and human skills. These are skills that are needed to function as a manager, and your functions as a manager are planning, controlling, leading, and organizing. And you use those four functions to attain your organizational goals in an effective and efficient manner. I'm immediately thinking of nice creative ways in which to ask this question as an exam topic for your in-course or maybe for your final. So, because we've spent a lot of time, we've spent essentially 40 minutes, almost 45 minutes on these four slides because of how important they are. Because this is your foundation, this is your bedrock of management theory. And we go on to slide number 5, why some managers fail. They fail to listen to the customer. And this is what I was saying earlier. As a manager, you can't always be in the operations. Because if you're in the operations, you're going to get confirmation bias. You're going to get groupthink. Because you're going to have confidence in you and your team. And you need to, and if when you have that groupthink and that confirmation bias and that, that confidence in your team, when a customer comes and gives you some honest feedback, you're going to dismiss it. And you're going to think, no, we're doing it right. We have it on point. Let me know what they're saying. And while, yes, there are some customers who essentially, they really, you really have no interest except to perhaps look for trouble, make trouble. But customer feedback is important feedback. So you always need to listen to your customers. Your customers are going to be telling you about the experience in your organization. So some managers fail because they fail to listen to the customer. You need to listen to the customer. And you can do this via surveys. You can do this via um, speaking with the customers directly. Listen to your customer. Misinterpret market signals. And how do we misinterpret market signals? By not tuning in to the market. If you're not researching your market properly, if you're not abreast with what's happening in your market, if you're not understanding the environmental analysis of your market, you may very well misinterpret market signals. And when you misinterpret market signals, you might find yourself spending resources behind something that is not going to produce revenue. So always look at your market signals. Where are the trends? Where are the trends going? What are the buying trends? What are the customer trends? Look at your market signals. Look at what's happening in the environment that may affect this particular industry. We are in a pandemic. We all are lucky to be in a pandemic, lucky, quote unquote. What is the pandemic doing to the market? What is the pandemic? What signals the pandemic is giving to the market? As managers, you need to be very, very aware of what is going on. Lack of team building skills, point number 3 on slide 5. Team building ties back into human resource, and I spoke at length about it just now. Lack of team building skills. If you don't build your team and your team does not gel, you need a team to gel, you need a team to interact, because you might have this department talking this other department bad. You might have this department who don't want to have nothing to do with this other department. No, that cannot work, because that is going to lead to disaster. Team building skills. The manager is tasked with ensuring that the entire team works together, that the entire team understands the objective. And you may need at times to do a retreat. You may need at times to be innovative at work to ensure that the team is built. You might put different people on different projects to help them understand each other and to work with each other. Team building skills very important. Inability to execute on strategy. Well, this would be horrible if it is that you're given strategy to execute from your senior management team and you're just unable to execute it for whatever host of reasons that you may have. You're simply unable to execute well, then you're going to feel as a manager and you're going to be out of a job, right? I can reflect on my experiences. I was given um, a strategy to transition a hospital that was being constructed, to move it from construction to opening and to establish it. And I had to get that done in a matter of months. If months had passed and we were nowhere near there, then I wasn't able to execute on strategy. I wasn't able to get the job done. I would have been out of a job. So you must be able to execute on strategy. And to execute on strategy, you need to know what your strategy is, and you need with your team to devise a plan to execute that strategy. And after you devise your plan, you implement that plan. And later on in this course and in other courses, then you're going to evaluate that plan. And then you're going to act on that evaluation, plan again, and do again. And it's something called the, I'm going to introduce it to you now. There's nothing wrong in introducing new terms that you all may not have come across. The PDCA cycle. Plan, do, check, act. And this comes from the specific management field of quality management. Total quality management. Right, so I'm introducing to you that phrase, PDCA cycle, and what it means. And lastly, the inability to understand and adapt to the rapid pace of change around them. And guys, more so ever, we have really rapid change. You must understand it and you must adapt. Understand and adapt. Understand and adapt. Adapt means that you need to take action pretty quickly to deal with the rapid changes that's happening. Understand it and take action, adapt and take action. All right, so we're going to go for the break now. So I will end this live and we shall return at 10:05. Right, so I'll give you a 15-minute break and we shall return at 10:05. Okay. Before you go, any questions? So when we come back, I'll ask questions. All right. So let's go for the break now. I'll end the stream, then I will do a new stream and send the link on the group. So I'll see you soon.